Hello, I am Minecraft Phenom 08, and this is episode 47 of my series in which I will try to collect 1 billion iron ingots. In today's episode, I'm going to do a task I've been kind of putting off for a little while. I am going to completely rebuild my ore processing. And why I want to do that is because last episode, I set up another void ore miner, which is a tier 5 version. And currently my system is completely backlogged. If we take a look at the input chest down here, it is full. And if we take a look at our inventory, I think last time I checked, we have a big backlog of certain items. So essentially, this is just not fast enough. And as we know, I also have a huge backlog of iron ore that I need to work through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rip out pretty much everything in this building, and I'm going to rebuild it from the ground up. Now, if you'll notice over here, I have a new building. This building will be dedicated 100% to iron ore processing. And we're probably going to use this building in a few different ways and process the iron ore in a few different ways. But for right now, we're going to set up one way, and hopefully we're going to changed it up a little bit from what we have over here. And when I say a little bit, I mean a little bit, not very much. We're still going to be using induction furnaces for our step 1, I guess. But hopefully, if I have enough time at the end of the episode, I will be adding a little bit of a twist to that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go off camera and I'm going to rip out pretty much everything I have in here. And then we will be back for the rebuild. And I'm back. I finally have everything cleared out. I also decided to do one more thing. I added a makeshift basement in this building. It should make plumbing just quite a bit easier, so that's why I did that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay out this building slightly differently than I had before. Before, I had iron ore processing on the second floor, which is not going to be in this building at all. And on this floor, I had pulverizers over here and furnaces over here. What I'm going to do this time, and hopefully it scales better in the future, is I'm going to put all my pulverizers on this level. So this level will only be handling the pulverizing of materials. So what I can do now is I can go ahead and I think I'm going to put pulverizers all the way from, say, here all the way around, except for in the corners there. And all the way to over here. So what I'm going to do real quick is I am going to just destroy all these blocks, and I'm actually going to do that off camera because it's going to take a hot minute. So I will be back after I have all these blocks destroyed. And I am back. What I'm going to do before I really get started on putting my pulverizers in, I'm going to run a little plumbing. I'm going to run my energy up this wall, or this corner I should say, and so we can get energy to the upper floors. And then I will do the same with the applied energistics cable over here. And I'm probably going to have to delete that bottom one, but that's okay. So now we have all our plumbing that we'll need to begin with up there. And let's go ahead and connect these up. Can just run this across like so. I think that should work. And then the same with the power, I think. We can run it something like this. It's not the cleanest look, but I'm not too worried about this basement. Like I said, it's not like a full basement or anything, so I'm not going to be down here a whole lot once I get this all set up. So I don't need it to really look pretty. Okay, the next thing I need to do is I need to actually set up my importer and my item, how I'm going to get my items into my pulverizers and then out of my pulverizers and back into my AE system. So what I need to do is I need to set up I need to set up 2 modular storage units. One is an input and one is an output. And I have the 5 that I was using for my system, or for my previous system, right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take 2 of them, and they are empty. And I'm going to place one of them actually, they're both gonna go in my basement just to make things a little bit easier. My input is going to go, I think I'm gonna have to get rid of that torch right here. And my output's gonna go in the same spot over here. I think we're gonna have to get rid of that as well. And I guess what we can do is, I think something like that might work. And I'm placing them deliberately right here, well, at least the one over there, to make things a little bit easier in terms of my importers and exporters. So let's grab some buses. I'm gonna need a few of these guys, and I only need one of these for right now. Let's get rid of some stuff I don't need quite yet. And I'm gonna need at least 4 of these, and let's just grab a whole stack of those. So this can be the import side, and we can make that really easy. Just, oh shoot, I need regular covered cable. Don't have that. So let's grab some of that. So we just need some acceleration cards just to make it faster. And then for over here, what we're gonna do is, let's run our cable like so. Let's grab enough of it first of all. That'd be good. That would help me out. Okay, so that should be connected. And I'm gonna need several buses on this thing, so I'm gonna set it up something like this. For right now, let's install all 3. I'm gonna need some more capacity cards, but that's okay. So, boom, 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 boom. You know what? I don't like that, because I'm gonna need a bunch of like servos and things. So, sorry, I am not going to put one on the top side because I think I'm gonna put 2 servos on this thing from the get-go. And what I mean by that, I can just go ahead and do it. And I think I have a system set up similarly downstairs that I did last episode, but just because this thing will be handling so many items, I'll have 2 servos on here just to speed things up a little bit. And these are the signalum plated impulse item ducts, and that's because they will also need to be transporting power here. Let's see here. Let's start out right here, and we just need to run this all the way around, except for the corners, which I can't because there's this here. And cool enough, I grabbed the wrong thing. Isn't that just awesome? No, I have the right ones there. I just didn't grab the right ones the second time around. So I'm actually going to do this off camera real quick. I'm going to string this signalum plated item duct all the way around where I have cut out, and I will be back in a minute. And I'm back. I just realized I want to move this. I actually want this on the top side, and that is for logistical reasons. So let's get rid of some crap. I have too much stuff with me. So let's get rid of that. And we're going to need this back. I want this to be, I want the modular storage to be right here. And that is because I need to put the import, or because I will need the item ducts that transfer items out of the pulverizers on top. So it needs to be up here so it can connect to those item ducts. So we just need to put the import bus down here and just restring this up real quick. So that should work. Now the next thing I need to do is I need to put down my pulverizers. And let's start here. And I think these ones are already set up. I have 14 of them that were from before. And we can go ahead and use those. And we don't have to do anything to those. They are properly formatted. Now these ones, however, I will need to reformat to be like the other ones. Boom. That works out pretty well. So let's grab our conversion kits and get to work. And I think I'm going to format these exactly like I have the other ones in every way, in that blue bottom, orange top with the auxiliary sieves, full of auxiliary sieves. In the future, we might have to change that out just to make these guys a little bit faster. But for right now, we're going to use those. And I think this will be quick enough now that we have so many of these guys. I'm going to go ahead and format these off camera. They're going to be set up the exact same way as these ones over here. So, and that'll take a few minutes. So I will be back in just a little bit. And I'm back. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to slap covers on these corners right here just to make it look a little bit nicer. And then I need to run item duct all the way around. And that shouldn't be too difficult. It'll just take a second. And because these are outputs on the top, they will automatically insert into the item ducts. I don't need to do anything. They don't need servos. I think I used this system for the better part of my original system. At first, I did not have it set up like this. But this should work just fine. And actually, let's get a piece of stone right here. Spruce that up a little bit. And then we need to set up these guys right here. Wow, I made a mistake here. I need to change that because that won't work. Okay, now I can use this elevator. What I need to do is I need to set up these guys. So let's try to make a little space in my inventory here. That didn't work at all. Okay, so let's just do something like this. I need ores that I can process. So let's do it by number. Okay, we don't want iron. We're not doing iridium. There's a lot of things I haven't done, and that's why I have a backlog of certain things. And other things were just because my processing wasn't fast enough. Silver, aluminum, copper, yellowite, gold, nickel. And I need one more, I think, for the first export bus, coal. So let's set these up. Hopefully. Cool. Okay, now I didn't mention this when I put these on here at first, but what I actually need to change this a little bit. I need to not do nearest first, I need to do round robin. Because if I do nearest first, the ones that are really far away, the pulverizers, will not really be used. If I do round robin, each servo will go round and round, and all of the pulverizers should be used fairly equally. And we should see them light up one by one as is going on. So that's cool. Now we need to set up we set up this guy, we need to set up this one. So we need to find some more ore. We ended at coal. We're not going to do redstone right now. I know I tore up that automation in this building, but that's okay. We'll reset it at some point. I'm not worried about it right now. We got both certuses. We have emeralds. Is that about it? That might be it. I think that looks like it's it. For right now anyways. And we have 4 more slots if we need to use them. So let's throw these in here. And as we see, we're already starting to get a little bit of a backlog up here. Look at that. That looks beautiful. At least to me it does. So this should be pumping. And I see some pulverized iron in here, and that's because it's a secondary output of, I think, nickel or something like that. So this level is set up finally. Looking at the time right now, I don't really think we're going to get to our iron building at all, to be honest. Because we have to do this level. We need to set up a bunch of redstone furnaces. So let's grab those. I don't even think I made enough. What? I have clay. I have to have clay. Do I not have bricks? I don't have bricks automated. So I need to automate that real fast, and then we can get on with this. Whoops, almost fell. Okay. Bada bing, bada boom. Redstone furnaces. Where are you? There you are. Okay, so furnaces. Thanks, spider. And so I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to rip out a ring starting with right here, and I'm going to do that off camera, and I will be back after I'm done with that. Okay, I'm done with that mini project. What I need to do is pretty much the same as I did before. I need to lay out my impulse item duct down here, and that will power and transmit items. And I forgot to do this corner. And what I do in the corners is I don't use the impulse item duct. I use the regular item duct. Or not impulse, I mean not the signalum plated. So I just need one of these guys. And I actually need another stack. So that way this is like a separate energy system than this over here. Just because in the future, especially when I speed up the machines, which actually these ones will be sped up from day one, but the pulverizers, when I speed them up, I'm worried about not having enough power all the way around, because the signalum plated impulse item ducts cannot transmit nearly as much power as like this right here. So the next thing I need to do is I need to set up my furnaces, and these will be on top. But actually, I need to go about this just a little bit different here, because I need one of my modular storages right here. And I think I only have one that's empty left. So this will be the input, and I'm going to have to route this just a little bit differently. We're going to need the servo on the bottom side. And always active with the round robin again. And so that'll be the input, and we can run our ME conduit later. I think these are set up as the same as the one as the pulverizers were, so that makes that nice. These are not set up at all, so I will need to do that, and I can do that off camera real quick after I get them laying them down. And these will be set up the exact same as these ones over here. I'm going to need some different augments, though. I'm going to need these guys right here. I don't need that many. So I'm going to slap these conversion kits on, and then I will set them up exactly as I have these set up. So I will be back here in a few minutes. And I'm back here on the first floor with the pulverizers. I decided to put a bunch of covers around, because otherwise we'd have our signalum plated item ducts showing, just to make that first level look a little bit nicer. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take our impulse item ducts and string those up, and that one actually doesn't need to be there, it needs to not be there, and these need to just go all the way around. And let's not do the corner, because this building very well could be getting taller in the future, so we need to leave those available. And this one, I probably should have set this up just a little bit differently. You know what, that'll be okay. Now we need to set up our buses, so let's grab one of these guys. We only need one of those. We should need two of those, and I think 8 will do. So this over here will be the import side. It just needs a little bit of speed. And then this over here will be the export side. And we can go ahead and set this up over here rather than right here. And then we just need to connect these to... Actually, I need to build this up. This over here. And what I think I'm going to do is And it's not the most gloriously beautiful solution, but we can go ahead and string it up like this. Okay, now we need to figure out what goes in this bus here. So let's go ahead and clean out our inventory just a little bit. To be honest, yeah, we're definitely not gonna get to the iron today, which is kind of crappy, but that's the way it goes. So let's get some dust. So we need Eulorium. Let's look up pulverized. Okay, this is where it's at. So tin, silver, platinum, nickel, lead, iron, gold, copper, and I think that's all we... That's not true, because I can put another bus right there. So let's put all that in. And let's see, we can do aluminum as well and iridium on a second bus. So let's go ahead and do that. 2 of these guys and 2 of these guys, as well as 1 covered cable. That actually works out pretty well. I didn't even mean to set it up like that, but it works. So let's go ahead and throw all this crap in here. And okay. Cool. We see these guys starting to light up. That is awesome. And we should see stuff pouring into here, and we do. So it looks like this is kind of a good wrapping up point. Unfortunately, we're definitely not going to get to the iron over there. And let's go ahead and grab these, because we will be using at least the one holding iron over here. This setup is definitely capable of handling a lot more stuff than my old setup. We should clear out the backlog and then have some capacity to spare. And then, like I said, we can just expand this tower upwards should we need to add more capacity. And we'll probably need to add more pulverizer capacity at some point. And if we really wanted to, we could replace these auxiliary sieves with the additional reception coil upgrades, which would just speed them up. But for right now, I think this will probably be plenty. And this will definitely be plenty. So, to be honest, I'm not entirely satisfied with this episode, but that's where we're at. In today's episode, I managed to just reset up my pulverizer and redstone smelting systems for most of my ores. I needed the capacity, unfortunately, because my old system just wasn't cutting it. Right now, we have 5.7 million iron ingots, and we have very, very little capacity to process the iron ore right now. We actually have no capacity to process iron ore, but we can get some iron through the pulverized iron that we get from nickel ore. So we may see a few more iron ingots at the end of the next episode. But for right now, this is Minecraft Phenom 08, and I will see you next time.